Overpopulation is a global curse. Do you think ancient people never cared about population growth and grew their families by having several children? No, this is not true because ancient humans were civilized too. They took care of the population to eliminate resource depletion that overpopulation could lead to. Today, I will tell you how they dealt with overpopulation and took measures to control the birth of new children. Ancient people were passively concerned with creating a balance between population and food supply. The demographic pressure made the philosophers postulate an ideal size for the city. Population growth was limited to the agricultural resources present in the area. The Babylonian epic of Atrahasis presents that the floods and disasters are from God to wipe out the excess human population. In ancient times it was believed that stillbirth, inability to reproduce, and barrenness were ways to keep human numbers in accord with the land resources available. Greeks are considered the wisest nation to introduce modern ways to control new births. They were the first to introduce family planning to save the nation from the global population crisis. When a democratic form of government rose to its height, the state's poorest citizens went to pathetic positions. Riches enslaved them and snatched their rights to marry, have sex, or reproduce children. This helped them a lot in keeping the population controlled. Do you know about the oldest profession that still exists? If not, then let me tell you, it is prostitution. The Bible describes ancient texts of India and China and other records of ancient world prostitutes. Greeks made this profession legal, licensed, and taxed by the government. However, the rape criminals were given death punishments. Greeks thought prostitutes were a way to control births because men sought them only to get pleasure and not make children. Both males and female prostitutes were present, but most were females. They practiced birth control through various herbs to prevent pregnancy and practiced abortions too. Brothels were common, and the government made sure that measures were taken to prevent sexually transmitted diseases and unplanned pregnancies. The prostitutes had two classes: the pimps and the streetwalkers. Pimps were the enslaved prostitutes that the owners owned. Daughters who their fathers abandoned were mostly made pimps. However, they were freed if they worked harder and earned a lot of money. Contrary to them, streetwalkers were not owned by anyone, and they got their own clients. They worked with freedom and charged more than pimps found in brothels. Most of them became rich soon. Musicians were present at their places to provide entertainment to the clients. All members of social classes were welcomed without being labeled as immoral among the fellows because prostitution was totally legal and favored by the state. Not only prostitutes but ordinary women at home normalized the usage of herbs as contraceptives. A giant funnel called silphium was used in ancient times to prevent pregnancies and induce abortions. The plant contains farigol, which is a 100% effective pregnancy inhibitor. Another contraceptive herb, Queen Anne's lace seeds, was mixed in water and given to women to avoid pregnancy. You will be amazed to know poor women in Rajasthan, India, still chew them to prevent conception after sexual intercourse. From 421 BC, another contraceptive called pennyroyal has been reported to be used as a birth control chemical that has the ability to terminate pregnancies. Women in Egypt made a device called pessary out of acacia gum, plant fibers, and honey to wear in the vagina. Acacia gum acted as a spermicide to kill the sperms and lay off chances of pregnancy. In Greek mythology, the daughter of Zeus, Persephone, ate a pomegranate seed, though she was not allowed to do that. As a punishment, she was restricted from entering Hades for 6 months every year. Later it was revealed that pomegranate seeds reduced fertility. The effectiveness of birth control herbs was not a surety. So, the Greeks legalized abortion to bring unwanted pregnancies to an end. They knew about surgical procedures, but the midwives hesitated to perform them due to the risks of invasive surgery, shocks, blood losses, and infections. Prostitutes were the significant clients of midwives for abortion. Moreover, unmarried women who became pregnant were more likely to visit physicians for surgeries than married women. To minimize the need for surgical procedures, Greek women produced drugs like birthwort, juniper berries, and myrrh by combining them with alcohol or wine to induce abortions. People in ancient times suggested many limits to control population growth. Besides prostitution, men were kept away from their wives for physical separation. Men were kept inside barracks, and women were pushed to live 20 miles away from them. This also led to a decline in population in the Greek city of Sparta. Greeks were not only wise, their cruelty also aided them in controlling the population. When a new child was born in any home, they decorated with olive branches for making child and blue wool for females. After 1 week of arrival, most of them abandoned their new ones and placed them outside the home. Later, the child was taken away and disposed of in the legal form of infanticide. The child rejected by the parents has to face death or adoption. Moreover, homosexuality was also supported to control the population and prevent pregnancy. With global changes, new methods to control births were introduced among many world nations. Condoms were introduced to prevent women from getting pregnant and prevent venereal diseases. For the first time, condoms were introduced in 1564 by Gabriello Filippino, who made them out of a small linen covering for the penis to prevent infections. In 1700, they used animal bladders or skins to make condoms. People in the 18th century made them out of sheep gut with a ribbon at the pen end. At the end of the 18th century, condoms were available in all brothels in London, Berlin, Paris, and St. Petersburg. In Europe, animal skins and silk were used to make condoms till the 20th century. French taught the women to make condoms from animal intestines brought from a butcher's shop. Several other methods to create a birth barrier was established at the end of the 19th century. The womb veil was an effective device fitted by physicians. It was accompanied by spermicide liquids such as vinegar to kill sperms. However, it was expensive, and its use was restricted to the upper and middle classes. The lower class used acidic powders and jellies to block and kill the sperm entering the vagina of women. Other homemade products with cocoa butter and glycine were also in use by women in UK and USA. Ancient people thought contraception was only for the working class because they breed fast and produce more children than the upper class. In 1930, the American conservatives produced mass contraceptives with lactic acid jelly to cheaply limit family size in the working class. Later, oral contraceptives were also introduced for women to decline their chances of conceiving. Old philosophers and government officials always favored population control. Plato and Aristotle were strictly in favor of limiting the number of individuals according to the resources present. Too large a population can deplete the resources, and shortages can lead to the death of the fittest ones. They also knew that a small population could lead to inadequate production, affecting a country's trade and economy. Moreover, with less army, state is considered weak and can't defend itself. Therefore, Aristotle considered the balance in birth rate and death rates critical for survival. Plato also agreed with this concept and declared the population control duty of the state. During 424 BC, the population of Greece grew up suddenly. The increase in population causes a shortage of food. Besides this, it lowered the quality of food. Threats of overpopulation were not only limited to food shortages. Plato also noted that the land is deforested for farming to provide food to a growing population. Due to this, the land was lost to erosion, and the environment was permanently altered. The land left behind was just a skeleton where fertile soil was carried away. The unrestricted population growth destroyed Plato's state. The Peloponnesian War arose due to overpopulation and created an imbalance. Young men died, and the plague stuck in the region at the end, which was believed to balance the population by killing extra people. So viewers, overpopulation not only creates an imbalance of resources and leads to climate decline, and then nature seeks revenge on humans. That's why ancient people always focused on controlling population growth. Would you like to see more videos about topics like this? Let me know in the comment sections. Make sure to hit the like video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to be notified whenever we post a video. Stay tuned for the next video. Until next time, peace.